Achievement hunters. They're a bit of a wild bunch, aren't they? The type of people who don't just enjoy a game, but obsess over them. Each moment spent on a video game title for them is part of a project to complete it, well, 100%. And when you look at some of the requirements to do so in today's titles, that can get pretty extreme. I mean, just look at the Seriously 3.0 achievement from Gears. That will literally take you 20 days of playtime in order to get. In fact, looking at this stat made me feel so ill at the amount of time that you'd have to spend on it to get it, that it actually inspired this list. And no, by the way, it's not an entry because even talking about it feeds into its power cycle of stealing our precious moments. However, what I have for you brilliant people today is a series of entries that not only will steal your life energy, but might also be so complex or arduous to complete that none of us will ever hope to have them in our list of completed games. With this in mind, I'm Jules in glorious live action, and I'll explain why in a moment. This is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 impossible video game achievements that cost you 100%. So Jules, why are you in live action? I don't want to see your face, your voice is bad enough. Calm down, Keith. I'm here with a purpose. As each Tuesday, I'll be hosting a list, doing it in live action, but I'll also be in the chat comments for a few hours after this list is live, responding to as many comments as I can with the sole mission of finding out what lists you would like to see me present the week after. I call it Choose Your Own Adventure. God, I am good. So drop me a message below, and if you're feeling a little extra spicy, start it with, "Listen, Jules, you stupid, spindly mayfly," in order to get my attention. And with that, let's get on with our list. Number 10, Tomb Raider 2013, True Commitment. Weirdly enough, this achievement in the rebooted Tomb Raider game sticks out like a sore thumb, as in all other areas, this is a pretty chill title. Its pacing is fine and spot on, the difficulty's not too hard, the collectibles weren't too obscene. But then came the horrible realization that the multiplayer, that no one had asked for by the way, would actually end up being the barrier to many for a 100% completion. The name, True Commitment, and the requirement was to reach level 60. Sounds simple, right? However, factor in the issue of this being a Tomb Raider game, meaning that the online aspect of the title was as dead in the water as a duck once I've got my hands on it. Even more so nowadays when it's literally a ghost town, and you make it an unwarranted slog in an unnecessary addition to the franchise. Now sure, it could be fun, but honestly, going through all of that just to tick off the box? Well, it truly wasn't worth it. Number 9, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Mile High Club. One of the most sensual things ever released outside of my ASMR tapes was the standalone edition of the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. Honestly, this game is still near the very top of the pile of bullets and blood that is the COD franchise. The speed, the beauty, the violence, and the incredible challenges make this game as relevant today as when it was released. And yet one of those challenges, the Mile High Club achievement, was something else. Woof. Not only do you need to finish the entire campaign on Veteran for your completion, hope you love grenades by the way, but you'll also then have to nimbly navigate your way through a private plane full of terrorists, all of which have pinpoint accuracy, and for some reason, your character must have eaten nothing but magnets for how many bullets seem to hit you. Oh, and to top it all off, you need to score that perfect headshot at the end. No pressure. Number 8, Max Payne 3, The Shadows Rushed Me. If you played Max Payne 3, you will know how satisfying this game is as a whole. Bullet time, slow motion, gorgeous environments, bold heads, Hawaiian shirts. How can you not love this guy? This game, in short, is a near masterpiece which managed to update Max in brilliant ways while also keeping his gruff demeanor front and center. However, if you decided to play this game on New York Minute or the dreaded The Shadows Rushed Me mode for the achievements, well, you're gonna end up cursing his name for a very long time. New York Minute requires you to finish the story in 1 minute. Okay, not exactly, as the timer can be lengthened with headshots and quick kills, but it's still insanely hard. And the Shadows Rushed Me mode, that's even harder, meaning that it's New York Minute mode, but on hardcore difficulty. Yeah. So to finish this game, With a base timer of 60 seconds, you'll need to be chaining kills, hitting headshots, and bullet time hopping like a madman. This has to be done in one sitting as well, by the way, as this has permadeath. Good luck. Number 7, the Stanley Parable, Go Outside. Now this next one isn't actually hard at all, it's just really bloody long. The Stanley Parable is a game about narrative choice and expecting the unexpected, and I can honestly say that no one expected the Go Outside achievement to be so strange. The achievement requires you not to play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. An interesting task, and one that's gained a certain infamy in the modern day of gaming, where unique achievements have almost died off. It's simple enough though, play the game, have fun, get every achievement, and then just uninstall it and forget about it. But then reinstall it 5 years later and cap it all off. I assume that there is a way to fiddle with the system clock to pop this off, but because of the sheer time frame, you might well actually forget about this and therefore never complete it. Number 6, Doom 2016, Computing with Style and Beauty is Pain. In the same vein as Tomb Raider's True Commitment, we come to another multiplayer type achievement. Now fair enough, this is Doom we're talking about, so the online modes here are pretty stellar. But it would have also been nice of the developers to try and keep things strictly single player. The game itself is dense, tightly packed and oozing with a polish, but these two achievements, they sure stink up the place something fierce. I can forgive the permadeath super hard mode on single player, and hell, I've covered it before in previous lists, but the 2 multiplayer achievements, one of which takes about 12 hours to get, solely focuses on them being XP boosting competitions that you need your friends to help you achieve. It is maddening. As I've said before, the multiplayer itself wasn't the problem. It was the time sink that was required to get these unique armor pieces and do all of the challenges to get these 2 achievements. They were just too huge to overcome, and with Doom Eternal coming out very soon, it's unlikely that you'll be returning to this multiplayer offering, and therefore it'll sit forever uncompleted. Number 5, Limbo, No Point in Dying. Limbo is a short, nuanced, and utterly atmospheric game which follows the journey of a young boy trying to reunite with his sister. It's a platformer that isn't afraid to get dark and gruesome either, as you will see this little guy getting impaled, electrocuted, crushed, and spun into a spider web, usually within the first 5 minutes of playtime. But hey, that's part of the fun, the trial and error, reloading, retrying, and eventually succeeding in overcoming a pit of spikes, only to walk into another pit of spikes 2 seconds later. However, if you want the No Point in Dying trophy, you're going to need to do all of this in 5 or less deaths in just one sitting. Even when you consider that this game can be completed in under an hour, it is enough to set your heart to explode under the pressure setting. Don't even bother thinking that you can do this on your first try. It will not happen. And in order to net this, you'll need tons of practice and a hell of a lot more patience. Number 4, Hollow Knight, Pure Completion. Now, pure completion is about as far as you can get when it comes to near impossible achievements, and honestly, it is a bit of a cheat for this list because it requires you to get all achievements in Hollow Knight. I know, dick move, right, but did you expect anything else from me? Some of the other achievements that you will need in order to get this include beating the game without dying. Beating the game without dying under a certain time. So it is an absolute mare to even consider aiming for this pure completion trophy. With skill, patience, and a whole lot of luck, you might be able to do all of this, but with the Pantheons as well and the boss rushes, you will need to be on your A game 100% of the time to even come close. And just for the record, a Pantheon in this game, of which there are 5, contain 10 bosses, have no checkpoints as well. Brilliant. Number 3, BIOSHOCK Infinite Scavenger Hunt. Kind of in line with the Mile High Club achievement that we were talking before, BIOSHOCK Infinite Scavenger Hunt requires you to do 2 things. 1, beat the game in 1999 mode, the game's extra special difficulty setting, and 2, doing that without purchasing a single thing from the dollar bill vending machine. I'm sorry, what? This mode will turn your booker into a trash-eating monster as he forages everything he can from bins while staring longingly at all of those tempting items that Bill and his mates are offering out. Even with Elizabeth chucking random items at you from across the room, this is absolutely brutal. So brutal that barely anyone online has this achievement. A super hard difficulty, even less ammo than before, basically no respawn points, and a ton of bullet sponge enemies. No thank you, pal. I will gladly take my tonics elsewhere. Cheers. Also, as is mandatory whenever I have to talk about this game, Lady Comstock's Ghost. This boss absolutely sucks. I even covered it on my series, These Things Suck. Calm down, Jeremy. We're not getting into it right now. Let's move on. Number 2, the Master Chief Collection, LASO Master. Sound the LASO alarm because this is one of the most grueling achievements to ever exist. What makes this so bad is basically that it is a set of achievements. LASO basically means legendary, all skulls on, with skulls being the in-game modifiers that ramp up the game's difficulty, and of course, legendary is the crushingly difficult mode to begin with. You will see more grenades, higher ranked enemies, better armored foes, much less ammo, no HUD, which means no reticle, and most horrifically of all, no respawn. That's right, when you play this game solo, if you're dead, you are dead. So it is definitely encouraged to get some friends for this one, because this might be the only chance you have of making this work. For the LASO Master, you will need to play every campaign the Master Chief Collection has to offer, meaning Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, ODST, and Reach, all on Legendary with every skull on. Just let that sink in. 6 games on the hardest difficulty setting, all skulls. Off. And number 1, Dead Rising 7-Day Survivor. Oh yes, my children, it is finally time for me to talk about one of my favorite games, and say it with me, kids, of all time! Yeah. It's time to talk about Dead Rising. This franchise never even gets a shred of the love that it deserves. Now true, if you are a person of culture like me, then you will agree that the off-the-record spin-off was the best in the franchise, but let's dial it back to Dead Rising 1 and the achievement 7-Day Survivor, which tasked you with playing the game for 14 hours straight as you try to help Frank West survive a mall massacre. Now all in all, you can make life easier for yourself by making sure that you are level 50 and that you have all the items that you will need mapped out, but that in turn takes time and exploration, something that the inbuilt game timer forces you to ignore, basically. Also, to make matters even more tense, your health constantly depletes in this mode, meaning that if your plan was just to, I don't know, stand around in the food court and wait it out, you are going to need to find a new place to hide every few hours. Add in enemies that are way more aggressive and soldiers that come hunting for you and psychopaths on top, and suddenly prices aren't the only things that are going to be slashed at this shopping centre, as poor old Frank is likely to be cut down in his prime before seeing that achievement pop. R.I.P. buddy. Actually, probably better if you died there, because then you wouldn't have to be in Dead Rising 4. That bloody sucked. And there we go, those were 10 achievements that probably, very likely, blocked you from getting 100%. I am sorry, my friends. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news that you will never get 100% of these games. Maybe you did, though. I don't know. Maybe you're an absolute god among men. Why don't you let me know down in the comments section below? And remember that this is the first of the Choose Your Own Adventure. Again, very clever, I know. Let me know down below what list you'd like to see me cover next week in live action, and maybe I'll deign you with my presence. I sounded like such a dick saying that. That's not at all what I mean. I will be down in the comments and we will have a chat. It will be lovely. I'll invite you over for tea. It'll be fantastic. You'll meet my mum, Jo Lorraine. She's not mad at all, old man Jo Lorraine. Anyway, I digress, completely beside the point. I hope that you are well, my friends. I hope that these list of achievements here of not achieving stuff, I hope that you don't take that energy and put it into something negative, because remember, even when we can't achieve what we want to first time, it doesn't mean that we should give up. It means that we should take a look at ourselves and realize something, that there is stuff that is in this world that we cannot control, no matter how much energy we want to put into it. And that is okay, because what that means is that maybe that is the wrong decision for us. Maybe we need to look elsewhere or balance our energies to make sure that we can do it better next time. And to do that, remember there's friends, family, professionals in the sport industry. All of us care about you and want you to do well, because you deserve love, happiness, and success. I hope that you go out there and absolutely smash it. But remember, it is more than okay to ask for a helping hand every now and again. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter. And if you want to do something else, you big nerd, then go check out my board game channel. It's called Live and Let's Dice. What a pun. I am the master of them. Again, conceited. Why am I being such a dick on this end? Doesn't matter. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.